Good morning. So in the last class we have seen what is data, the basic taxonomy of database management system, and at the same time so we have discussed about some technical terms like data, database, database management system, what are the various advantages of database management system, and we have also seen database structure. So in this lecture, so we will see how a database can be designed. So in order to develop any database, so first you need to know about the architecture. So unless we knew the architecture, we cannot design the database, or neither we can implement the database structure. So today we will be seeing about database architecture. So we have two kinds of architecture. One is two-tier architecture and the other one is three-tier architecture. So two-tier architecture. So tier is nothing but layer. So in this architecture we have two layers. Now what are those two layers are? So we have client layer and the other one is database server. So these are the two layers in two-tier architecture. So that is why this architecture is also called client server architecture. So what is this client layer? What it constitutes of? So client layer simply it consists of machines, client machines. So what is this? Client 1, client 2, client 3. So all these three are simply client machines. So on these client machines we run interface. On all the client machines we run interfaces. So using this interface a user will be able to access any data from the database server. So for example, if you take, so we are working with IRCTC. So let us take an example of IRCTC. So what happens in IRCTC? So today, nowadays we are using the online IRCTC portals, but what we used to have earlier. So in earlier days, so we as a person physically will visit a station and there we have to book a ticket. So what happens at that stations? The person who is sitting behind the window, so he has a complete control of booking the ticket. So here that person who is able to book the ticket is nothing but a client machine. So this client machine will have an interface. So using that interface, so we will send some data. So this data will be processed in the server and it will give the response back to the user. So that is why we call this as client server architecture. So how do we establish the connection between the clients and server? So here the interfaces will be running on the client machine. So in turn, when any interface is running on the client machine, it is nothing but we are simply running APIs. We are simply running APIs. So using this API through JDBC ODBC connection, a client connection will be established. So here you have to make one point in mind that so this connection may not be physical. The database can be at any other location and the clients can be at any other location. So when you have any interface on the client machine, API will be running. So using API, so through JDBC ODBC connection, a normal connection will be established, a wireless connection will be established. So through that connection, so whatever the queries that the user will enter at the client machine will be completely processed by the database server and the response will be given back here. So what happens here? So simply the two-tier architecture is also called as client server architecture, where it involves client layer and database server. But now coming to the advantages and disadvantages of two-tier architecture, the maintenance is easy and it is very easy to build because the client machines and the server are enough. But coming to the disadvantages, what happens here? So, if you increase the client machines on the database server, then the performance may not be high here. We will give an example. So, what happens? So, if you try to increase the number of clients, so all the clients will raise a request and now they will ask you to process my request. So, server, it will take much time when each and every client at a particular instance if it tries to throw all kind of queries. So, scalability is one of the disadvantage in two-tier architecture. And one more thing is security. If at all any person who is sitting behind the window, if he commits any kind of mistake, then obviously we need to pay, as a user we need to pay a huge things, right. So, security is one more purpose. So, whatever the data that we are giving, the user is giving, so completely because server is getting processed here, so maybe the data whatever the database server is processing, it may not be secured. So, for example, if we go to a bank to deposit the a small amount. So, what happens, we try to physically, we are visiting a bank, we have taken a form from the bank and we try to deposit the money of 10,000 rupees. So, what happens there? So, on the form we fill it as 10,000 and we give 10,000 rupees. Okay. So, but when if any chance, by chance, if the person who is sitting behind the window, he will take 10,000 rupees, but he will make 1 lakh. So, natural human tendency errors. If he tries to make in place of 10,000, he will add one more zero. So, what happens there? So, 1 lakh amount that will be credited, but what is the amount you will be given? Only 10,000. So, what it will be reflecting in the database server? So, 1 lakh amount is deposited, but actually in actual scenario we have only deposited 10,000 rupees. So, that is a disadvantage with the two-tier architecture, the client server architecture. So, slowly, so this is not considered as the most disadvantage, still we are using client server architecture, but to maintain more security, to give control mechanisms to entire queries, so we have moved to three-tier architecture. So, what happens in the three-tier architecture? So, in the three-tier architecture, we have 3 levels: client layer, business layer and database server. So, how many layers we have in the three-tier? So, as a name depicts, tier is nothing but layers. We have 3 layers here: client layer, business layer and database server. So, the client layer in three-tier architecture and the client layer in two-tier architecture are same. So, both client machines are one and the same. So, these client machines will have their own interfaces running on each of the client machine, and whatever the query the client machine will send, that will be processed in business layer. This will be processed in the business layer. Fine. So, what happened in two-tier? The query processing also happened at database server, but here instead of happening in the database server, the query processing will be entirely dedicated to business layer. Suppose I just want to book any ticket, I just want to deposit an amount X rupees in my bank account. So, what happens here? First, the user will run the interface here in the client machine. So, when the user runs the interface on the client machine, so that query will be given to the business layer. So, in the business layer, all kinds of code optimizations will be done here. So, what kind of query? So, which path I have to move? So, everything will be taken care by the business layer. So once a query is processed, so then it will take only that particular data, it will not touch any other data, only it will take that response, and again that response will be given back to the business layer. And now again, so this business layer will in turn give the response back to the client machine in whatever format it wants. So whether it could be anything. So for example, so this client machine may run the applications on Java, or this client machine may run the application on Java. This machine may run on PHP, and this machine may run any applications on any other using other programming languages. So using these applications, we will be establishing the connection using the business layer. At the same time, this will invoke the database server too.